Janelle Monáe Robinson, born December 1, 1985, is an American singer, songwriter, rapper, and actress. She has received 10 Grammy Award nominations and is the recipient of a Screen Actors Guild Award and a Children's and Family Emmy Award. Monáe has also been honored with the ASCAP Vanguard Award, as well as the Rising Star Award, 2015, and the Trailblazer of the Year Award, 2018, from Billboard Women in Music. Personal life. During a 2011 interview with London Evening Standard, Monáe said she only dates androids, a reference to her musical alter ego found in many of her songs. She also said, "I speak about androids because I think the android represents the new other. You can compare it to being a lesbian or being a gay man or being a black woman. What I want is for people who feel oppressed or feel like the other to connect with the music and to feel like she represents who I am." She added that she would talk about her sexual orientation in due time. In 2013, Monáe said she wants both men and women to still be attracted to her and express support for the LGBTQ community. Monáe has said she identifies with both bisexuality and pansexuality. On January 10, 2020, she tweeted the hashtag #IamNonBinary, along with a quoted tweet, which trended on Twitter that day. Monáe said in an interview with The Cut a month after the tweet that I tweeted the hashtag #IamNonBinary hashtag in support of Non-Binary Day and to bring more awareness to the community. I retweeted the Steven Universe meme, "Are you a boy or a girl?" I'm an experience because it resonated with me, especially as someone who has pushed boundaries of gender since the beginning of my career. I feel my feminine energy, my masculine energy, and energy I can't even explain. In April 2022, she came out publicly as non-binary on the Red Table Talk saying, "I'm non-binary, so I just don't see myself as a woman, solely. I feel like God is so much bigger than the he or the she. And if I am from God, I am everything." In the interview, she also acknowledged having been in both monogamous and polyamorous relationships. Following the interview, a representative of Monáe said that she continues to use she/her pronouns. In an interview with the Los Angeles Times, however, Monáe identified herself as non-binary and added that her pronouns are free-ass motherfucker and they/them, her/she. Early life. There was a lot of confusion and nonsense where I grew up, so I reacted by creating my own little world. I began to see how music could change lives, and I began to dream about a world where every day was like anime and Broadway, where music fell from the sky and anything could happen. Monáe, on her childhood musical inspiration. Janelle Monáe Robinson was born on December 1, 1985, in Kansas City, Kansas, and was raised in Quindaro, a working-class community of Kansas City. Her mother, Janet, worked as a janitor and a hotel maid. Her father, Michael Robinson Summers, was a truck driver. Monáe's parents separated when Monáe was a toddler, and her mother later married a postal worker. Monáe has a younger sister, Kimmy, from her mother's remarriage. Monáe was raised Baptist and learned to sing at a local church. Her family members were musicians and performers at the local African Methodist Episcopal Church, the Baptist Church, and the Church of God in Christ. Monáe dreamed of being a singer and a performer from a very young age, and has cited the fictional character of Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz as a musical influence. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which Monáe bought 2 copies of with her first check, was another source of inspiration. She performed songs from the album on Juneteenth talent shows, winning 3 years in a row. As a teenager, Monáe was enrolled in the Coterie Theatre's Young Playwrights Roundtable, which began writing musicals. One musical, completed when she was around the age of 12, was inspired by the 1979 Stevie Wonder album Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants. Monáe attended F.L. Schlegel High School and after high school, moved to New York City to study musical theater at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, where she was the only black woman in her class. Monáe enjoyed the experience, but feared that she might lose her edge and sound, or look or feel like anybody else. In a 2010 interview, Monáe explained, "I felt like that was a home, but I wanted to write my own musicals. I didn't want to have to live vicariously through a character that had been played thousands of times, in a line with everybody wanting to play the same person." After a year and a half, Monáe dropped out of the academy and relocated to Atlanta, enrolling at Georgia Perimeter College. She began writing her own music and performing around the campus. In 2003, Monáe self-released a demo album titled The Audition, which she sold out of the trunk of a Mitsubishi Galant. During this period she worked at an Office Depot but was fired for answering a fan's email using a company computer, an incident that inspired the song Lettin' Go, which in turn attracted the attention of Big Boy. Career beginnings, 2005. Monáe appeared on the Purple Ribbon All-Stars album Got Perp? Volume 2, as well as on Outkast's 2006 album Idlewild, where she was featured on the songs Call the Law and In Your Dreams. Big Boy told his friend Sean Combs about Monáe, of whom at the time Combs had not yet heard. Combs soon visited Monáe's MySpace page, and according to a Hit-Quarters interview with Bad Boy Records A&R person Daniel Skid Mitchell, Combs loved it right away. He loved her look, loved that you couldn't see her body, loved the way she was dancing, and just loved the vibe. He felt like she has something that was different, something new and fresh. Monáe signed to the label, Bad Boy, in 2006. The label's chief role was to facilitate her exposure on a much broader scale rather than developing the artist and music, because in the words of Mitchell, she was already moving, she already had her records, she had a self-contained movement. Combs and Big Boy wanted to take their time and build her profile organically and allow the music to grow rather than put out a hot single which everyone jumps on, and then they fade because it's just something of the moment. Metropolis and the Arcandroid, 2007 to 2011. Monáe performing at the Austin Music Hall in 2009. In 2007, Monáe released her first solo work, Metropolis. It was originally conceived as a concept album in 4 parts, or suites, which were to be released through her website and MP3 download sites. After the release of the first part of the series, Metropolis, Suite I, The Chase, in mid-2007, these plans were altered following signing with Sean Combs' label, Bad Boy Records, later in the year. The label gave an official and physical release to the first suite in August 2008, which was retitled Metropolis, The Chase Suite, Special Edition, and included 2 new tracks. The EP was critically acclaimed, garnering Monáe a 51st Annual Grammy Awards Grammy nomination for Best Urban/Alternative Performance for the single Many Moons, festival appearances and opening slots for Indie Pop Band of Montreal. Monáe also toured as the opening act for band No Doubt on their summer 2009 tour. Her single Open Happiness was featured in the 2009 season finale of American Idol. Monáe told MTV about the concept for her new album and also discussed an alter ego named Cindy Mayweather. She said, "Cindy is an android and I love speaking about the android because they are the new other. People are afraid of the other, and I believe we're going to live in a world with androids because of technology and the way it advances." The first album she was running because she had fallen in love with a human and she was being disassembled for that. In a November 2009 interview, Monáe revealed the title and concept behind her album, The Arcandroid. The album was released on May 18, 2010. The second and third suites of Metropolis are combined into this full-length release, in which Monáe's alter ego, Cindy Mayweather, also the protagonist of Metropolis, the Chase Suite, becomes a messianic figure to the android community of Metropolis. Monáe announced plans to shoot a video for each song on their Arcandroid and create a film, graphic novel, and a touring Broadway musical based on the album. The Metropolis concept series draws inspiration from a wide range of musical, cinematic, and other sources, ranging from Alfred Hitchcock to Debussy to Philip K. Dick. The series puts Fritz Lang's 1927 silent film Metropolis, which Monáe referred to as the godfather of science fiction movies, in special regard. Aside from sharing a name, they also share visual styles. The cover for the Arcandroid is inspired by the iconic poster for Metropolis, conceptual themes and political goals, using expressionistic future scenarios to examine and explore contemporary ideas of prejudice and class. Both also include a performing female android, though to very different effect. Where Metropolis android Maria is the evil, havoc-sowing double of the messianic figure to the city's strictly segregated working class, Monáe's messianic android muse Cindy Mayweather represents an interpretation of androids as that segregated minority, which Monáe describes as the other. And I feel like all of us, whether in the majority or the minority, felt like the other at some point. Monáe received the Vanguard Award from the American Society of Composers, Authors and Publishers at the Rhythm and Soul Music Awards in 2010. Monáe covered Charlie Chaplin's Smile on Billboard.com in June 2010. In an NPR interview in September 2010, Monáe said she is a believer in, and a proponent of, time travel. Monáe performed Tightrope during the second elimination episode of the 11th season of Dancing with the Stars on September 28, 2010. Monáe performed at the 53rd Annual Grammy Awards in 2011 alongside artists Bruno Mars and B.O.B. They performed the synth section of B.O.B's song Nothing on You, and she then performed the track Cold War with B.O.B. on the guitar and Mars on the drums. The performance received a standing ovation. Monáe's single Tightrope was also featured on the American Idol's Live Tour 2011, performed by Pia Toscano, Haley Reinhart, Naima Adedapo, and Thea Medja. In September 2011, Monáe was featured as a guest vocalist on Fun's single, We Are Young, which achieved major commercial success, topping the charts of more than 10 countries and selling over 10 million units worldwide. The song garnered Monáe 3 Grammy nominations at the 55th Annual Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year. Vinate Roos, the lead singer of Fun, performed an acoustic version of We Are Young with Monáe. On December 11, 2011, Monáe performed at the Nobel Peace Prize concert in Oslo, Norway, including her songs Cold War, Tightrope, and a cover of the Jackson 5's I Want You Back. The Electric Lady and Other Projects, 2012 to 2014. Monáe was also featured on Do My Thing for Estelle's studio album, All of Me. In June 2012, Monáe performed 2 new songs, Electric Lady and Dorothy Dandridge Eyes, from her then-upcoming sophomore studio album, The Electric Lady, at the Toronto Jazz Festival. In July 2012, for the second year in a row, Monáe appeared at the North Sea Jazz Festival in Europe as well as in the 46th edition of the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland on the 14th. Monáe performing at Way Out West in Gothenburg, Sweden, on August 8, 2014. In August 2012, Monáe was chosen as CoverGirl's newest spokesperson. In September 2012, Monáe performed at Carolina Fest in support of President Obama, just before the 2012 Democratic National Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. In October 2012, Monáe starred in a commercial for the Sonos wireless hi-fi home audio system, and appeared in a Sonos commercial in 2012 with Deep Cotton. The Boston City Council named October 16, 2013, Janelle Monáe Day in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, in recognition of her artistry and social leadership. Monáe's first single from The Electric Lady, Queen, featuring Erykah Badu, premiered on SoundCloud and made available for download purchase at the iTunes Store on April 23, 2013. Queen garnered 31,000 digital sales according to Nielsen SoundScan, with the accompanying music video gaining 4 million YouTube views within its first week of release. In her 2013 interview with Fuse, Monáe said Queen was inspired by conversations she shared with Erykah Badu about the treatment of marginalized people, especially African American women, and the title is an acronym for those who are marginalized, Q standing for the queer community, U standing for the untouchables, the first E standing for immigrants, the latter standing for excommunicated, and N standing for negroid. Thematically, The Electric Lady continues the utopian cyborg concepts of its predecessors, while presenting itself in more plain-spoken, introspective territory in addition to experimenting with genres beyond conventional funk and soul such as jazz, Dorothy Dandridge Eyes, pop-punk, dance apocalyptic, gospel, victory, and woozy, sensual vocal ballads, Primetime, featuring Miguel. The album features guest appearances by Prince, Solange Knowles, aforementioned Miguel, and Esperanza Spalding, with production from previous collaborator Deep Cotton, a psychedelic punk act, and Roman John Arthur, a soul music composer, and was released to critical acclaim on September 10, 2013. On September 14, 2013, Monáe performed along with Chic at the iTunes Festival in London. On September 28, Monáe performed at the Global Citizens Festival in Central Park alongside Stevie Wonder. Monáe performed as the featured musical guest on Saturday Night Live October 26 with host Edward Norton. Monáe's voice is heard as veterinarian Dr. Monáe in the movie Rio 2, released in the U.S. on April 11, 2014, and the song What Is Love was featured on the soundtrack. In April 2014, Monáe was invited to perform along with Tessin Chin, Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, Jill Scott, Ariana Grande, and Melissa Etheridge at the White House as a part of the PBS broadcast Women of Soul event, which celebrated American women artists whose work has left an indelible and profound impact on American national musical culture. She performed Goldfinger, Tightrope, and joined in on the all-inclusive performance of Proud Mary. On April 14, 2014, Monáe was the recipient of the inaugural Harvard College Women's Center Award for Achievement in Arts and Media for achievements as an artist, advocate and feminist. She tweeted earlier that day, headed to #Harvard to meet the beautiful ladies in the Women's Center. Can't believe I'm the honoree today. Just so thankful. Monáe was also recognized as the 2014 Woman of the Year by the Harvard College Black Men's Forum at their annual celebration of Black Women Gala. In mid-2014, Monáe had an interview with Fuse where she teased a follow-up to The Electric Lady, saying, "I'm working on a new, cool creative project called EFIS and it's a big concept and you're not going to see it coming. It'll just land." Later in 2014, Monáe was featured on Sergio Mendes' album, Magic. She sings on the track titled Visions of You. The EFIS, Moonlight, and Hidden Figures, 2015 to 2016. Monáe at the premiere of Moonlight in 2016. In February 2015, Monáe, along with Epic Records and its CEO and chairman L.A. Reid, announced that Monáe's independent label Wonderland Arts Society had signed a landmark joint venture partnership to revamp the label, now known as Wonderland Records, and to promote the artists on the label. Jem Eswat of Billboard called Monáe a mini-mogul because of the deal and revealed that the partnership will bow in May with a 5-song compilation EP called The EFIS, including tracks from rapper Jadena, Roman, St. Beauty, Deep Cotton, and Monáe herself. With this move, Monáe became one of the few black women who run their own independent record label in conjunction with a major record label. In late March 2015, Monáe released the single Yoga from the album The EFIS. The album debuted at number 22 of the Billboard 200 and at number 5 of the top R&B/hip hop albums with an equivalent album sales of 47,000 units. In mid-2015, Monáe attended various fashion events, including London Fashion Week and the 2015 Met Gala. She began collaborating with Nile Rodgers for a new Chic album and Duran Duran for the album Paper Gods, their first album in over 5 years, and their single called Pressure Off. On August 14, 2015, Monáe and the body of her Atlanta-based Wonderland Arts Society collective performed the protest song Hell You Tombout, which raised awareness of the many black lives that were taken as a result of police brutality, with lyrics such as Walter Scott, Say His Name. Jerame Reed, Say His Name. Philip White, Say His Name. Eric Garner, Say His Name. Trayvon Martin, Say His Name. Sandra Bland, Say Her Name. Sharondra Singleton, Say Her Name. She also gave a speech about police brutality after the performance on NBC's Today Show, Yes Lord. God bless America. God bless all the lost lives to police brutality. We want white America to know that we stand tall today. We want black America to know we stand tall today. We will not be silenced. By March 15, 2016, First Lady Michelle Obama proclaimed that she had assembled a collaborative track featuring vocals from Monáe, Kelly Clarkson, Zendaya and Missy Elliott, alongside production credit from pop songwriter Diane Warren and Elliott, titled This Is For My Girls. The iTunes exclusive record was used to both coincide with Obama's Texans South by Southwest speech and to promote the First Lady's Third World educational initiative Let Girls Learn. In October 2016, Monáe made her big-screen acting debut in the critically acclaimed film Moonlight, alongside Naomi Harris, Andre Holland, and Mahershala Ali. Monáe also starred in the film Hidden Figures, alongside actors Taraji P. Henson and Octavia Spencer. The film was released in December 2016. Dirty Computer and Other Projects, 2017 to 2022. Janelle Monáe performing at the Dirty Computer Tour. While filming these 2 movie roles, Monáe remained active in music with features on Grimes' Venus Fly from her Art Angels album and also the soundtrack for the Netflix series The Get Down with a song titled Hum Along and Dance, Gotta Get Down. Monáe was also on the tracks Isn't This the World and Jalapeno for the Hidden Figures soundtrack. In an interview with People, Monáe revealed that she was already working on her 3rd studio album when she received the scripts for her 2 first acting roles, therefore, she put the album on hold. Monáe also revealed in the interview that she would be releasing new music sometime in 2017, although by the end of the year no album or single was announced. On February 16, 2018, Monáe revealed her third studio album, titled Dirty Computer, through a teaser video on YouTube. The album was accompanied by a narrative film project, and the teaser video aired nationwide in select theaters prior to screenings of Black Panther. She held a series of top-secret listening sessions in Los Angeles and New York in support of the album. On February 22, 2018, Monáe released Make Me Feel and Django Jane as the first two singles from Dirty Computer, both accompanied by music videos, and announced that the album would follow on April 27, 2018. Monáe stated in an interview with BBC Radio 1, "Prince was actually working on the album with me before he passed on to another frequency, and helped me come up with some sounds. And I really miss him, you know, it's hard for me to talk about him. But I do miss him, and his spirit will never leave me." Its short film earned a Hugo Award nomination for Best Dramatic Presentation, Short Form. Monáe appeared in the episode Autofac of the 2017 anthology series based on the work of Philip K. Dick, Electric Dreams, which premiered on Channel 4 in the UK and on Amazon Video in the US. On April 27, 2018, Monáe released a sci-fi film companion motion picture to her new record Dirty Computer. The album debuted at the number 6 of the Billboard 200 with 54,000 equivalent units and on the top 10 charts of Canada, United Kingdom and Ireland. It was chosen as the best album of the year by 3 publications, The Associated Press, New York Times, and NPR. The album received the nomination for Album of the Year at the 61st Annual Grammy Awards. She also contributed to the soundtrack to the dark comedy film Sorry to Bother You, collaborating with The Coup. In 2018, her Wonderland Pictures production company was signed to a first-look deal with Universal. On November 15, 2018, it was announced that Monáe would receive the Trailblazer of the Year award at the 2018 Billboard Women in Music event, which was held on December 6, 2018. Also in 2018, Monáe co-starred in the fantasy drama feature film Welcome to Marwen, by filmmaker and screenwriter Robert Zemeckis alongside Steve Carell and Leslie Mann. On January 3, 2019, the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival announced that Monáe will co-headliner the stage with Childish Gambino at Glastonbury. Festival also confirmed Monáe's presence as headlining the West Holt stage of the festival. 4 days after the Coachella setlist announcement, Monáe released a new music video for the song Screwed. She replaced Julia Roberts in the second season of the Amazon Prime Video series, Homecoming, playing a tenacious woman who finds herself floating in a canoe, with no memory of how she got there or who she is. On March 29, 2019, in Brooklyn, New York, she inducted Janet Jackson into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Also in 2019, she co-starred in the film Harriet, about abolitionist Harriet Tubman. Monáe returned to the big screen twice in 2020, with her first lead role in September 2020 with horror film Antebellum, and another supporting role with biopic The Glorias. On February 9, 2020, Monáe opened the 92nd Academy Awards with a performance featuring Billy Porter that highlighted the many films nominated as well as films that were snubbed by the Academy, including Dolomite Is My Name and Midsommar. In September 2020, Monáe released the music video Turntables as part of the Amazon Studios bipartisan voter registration campaign. The song is used over the end credits of the Stacey Abrams-backed film, All In, The Fight for Democracy. More recently, she signed global deal with Sony Music Publishing. On July 4, 2021, We the People, a 10-part series of animated music videos premiered on Netflix, created by Chris Ney, with Kenya Barris as a showrunner and produced by Barack and Michelle Obama. Monáe performed a number of songs for the series. This included a reggae-influenced number, titled Stronger, which focuses on the fight for justice and unity, liberty and equality in the title track for the series. She won the Children's and Family Emmy Awards for Outstanding Short-Form Program as one of the writers. In 2022, Monáe portrayed twin sisters Helen and Cassandra Andy Brand in Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, for which she received critical acclaim. In April 2022, Harper Voyager published her first book, The Memory Librarian, and Other Stories of Dirty Computer, which explores how different threads of liberation, queerness, race, gender plurality, and love become tangled with future possibilities of memory and time in such a totalitarian landscape, and what the costs might be when trying to unravel and weave them into freedoms. In May 2022, Deadline reported Monáe was set to act as Josephine Baker in the TV series De La Resistance. The Age of Pleasure, 2023. Photo of Monáe looking into the camera while gripping the brim of their oversized straw hat. Janelle Monáe performing during the Age of Pleasure tour in 2023. In December 2022, Atlantic Records CEO Craig Coleman said in an interview with Variety that Monáe had new music scheduled for 2023. On February 16, 2023, Monáe released the single Float featuring horns by Son Kuti and his band, Egypt 80. On May 11, she announced her fourth album The Age of Pleasure would be released on June 9. In a July 2023 interview with The Current, Monáe described their new album as a movement and a soundtrack to a lifestyle emphasizing the unapologetic pursuit of radical joy. The sensual and summery beats of the songs and accompanying music videos for tracks like Waterslide and Lipstick Lover continue to build upon depictions of queer love and acceptance common in Monáe's work. The album was nominated for Album of the Year and Best Progressive R&B Album at the 66th Annual Grammy Awards. Artistry. Musical styles and influences. Monáe has a mezzo-soprano voice. The Telegraph published an interview with Monáe, talking about her first studio album, in which the journalist Bernadette McNulty said, "I begin to worry for a moment that Monáe may not just be a humorless science fiction nerd, but actually an android herself, created in a laboratory as a super musical cross between James Brown, Judy Garland, Andre 3000 and Steve Jobs, invented to test the desperate incredulity of music journalists." She also compared Monáe to artists such as Annie Lennox, Lauryn Hill, and Corinne Bailey Rae. Monáe's musical styles have been described as a soaring orchestral trip enlivened with blockbuster vocals, mysterious imagery and notes of 60s pop and jazz. The Guardian has noted some of Monáe's influences as Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Prince, Outkast, Erykah Badu, James Brown, Grace Jones, Stevie Wonder, David Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, Bernard Herrmann, Funkadelic and The Incredible String Band. Matthew Vallens likens Monáe's dancing style in the music video for Tightrope to that of James Brown. In an opinion piece for The Quietus, John Calvert places Janelle Monáe within the Afrofuturism movement, pointing out her similarities to Sanare and George Clinton. He asserts that Janelle Monáe is innovating the genre. Monáe has said she has an alter ego from the year 2719 named Cindy Mayweather. In her first EP, Monáe gave this alter ego a backstory. She was on the run after breaking the law in her hometown of Metropolis by falling in love with a human, Anthony Greendown. Monáe has expanded on Cindy's mythos, saying, "The archandroid, Cindy, is the mediator between the mind and the hand. She's the mediator between the haves and the have-nots, the oppressed and the oppressor. She's like the archangel in the Bible and what Neo represents to the Matrix." In her second album, Cindy Mayweather returned to Earth to liberate metropolitans from the Great Divide, an oppressive oligarchy that used time travel to suppress freedom and love. Chris Champion of The Observer described Metropolis and the Archandroid as psychedelic soul with a sci-fi twist. Matthew Vallens describes Monáe as innovating a more contemporary neo-Afrofuturism, where the android role is used as a tool to critique the representation of black female musicians in the funk genre. Funk music of 1960s through 1980s is a prevalent music style influencing Monáe. The website for Monáe's Wonderland Arts Society Collective asserts, "We believe there are only three forms of music: good music, bad music, and funk." Monáe has also referred to herself as a funkstress. Monáe's roots in Kansas City, Kansas, where she was born and raised, are evident in her lyrics and style. According to Carrie Batten's Pitchfork feature on Monáe, the song Ghetto Woman directly addresses Monáe's working-class Casey, Kansas mother, as well as the portrayal of working-class black women in U.S. culture, with the line "Carry on, Ghetto Woman, even when the news portrays you less than you could be." Monáe also told the London Evening Standard she has internalized her KCKS roots by wearing the working-class uniform of her parents and expressing concern that she cannot let her community down. On the album The Archandroid, especially in songs like Cold War or Baba Baya, Monáe relates the dystopian cityscapes depicted in Metropolis to the boarded-up projects of poverty-racked Kansas. Kansas City, therefore, not only represents Monáe's physical roots within her hometown, but also serves as an important influence on the lyrics and science-fictional setting.